Hi everyone. So for those of you who have been following me for a little bit and kind of keeping up with my health journey, I thought I'd go ahead and give you all a quick update because many of you know that I've had a lot of tests lately. I've had my colonoscopy, I had an MRI, so I thought I'd just kind of give you an update, let you know what's going on. So many of you, if you watched some of my other little live videos, many of you know that I've been feeling really fatigued for about the last probably 4 months now, and that's when a lot of this kind of catapulted me to where I'm at now. So for about 4 months, I've been really trying to get back to the renal clinic, and so I got to see a nephrologist finally this week. I saw him on Monday, and he's really awesome. But the conclusion, so the verdict is I do have stage 3 kidney disease, which we think is because of IgA nephropathy. So IgA nephropathy it's an autoimmune disease. So it goes hand in hand with Crohn's, also an autoimmune disease. And so what it means is right now my kidneys are functioning at about 50% of what they should be. So the reason I say is we think it's IgA nephropathy is because the only way to actually know for sure if it's IgA nephropathy or a different type of kidney disease is to do a kidney biopsy. But as many of you probably know, there's a lot of risk associated with a kidney biopsy, and it's not going to actually change how we would treat it or what we would do anything. So there's no reason to do the biopsy with the risk that's associated with it, because right now, since it's at stage 3, my kidneys are functioning at about 50%. So right now, the thing to do is really just watch and wait, which I know people hate to do. I hate to do, but so we just watch and wait. So we'll see if there's a chance it might progress and get worse as time goes on, or there's a chance that it's just going to be chronic but stable. So there's no way to know other than to wait and see. So that's what's going on with my kidneys. So stage 3 kidney disease, and I did get to see the nephrologist, and he wants to see me, just annually. He'll check up, make sure the kidney function is doing okay. He was concerned. I mentioned I was waiting on one lab result to come back. I did end up, my last 2 blood tests ago, I had high blood calcium, which come to find out, if you Google that, that's not a good thing at all. So we were waiting, we did a retest to see if the high blood calcium was going to stay high, because if it is, that's a pretty serious issue. Mine came back down into the normal range on the blood test I had done earlier this week, so that's a good thing. But I guess on that we just kind of watch and wait too, because I went back through all my lab values, and it's pretty much fluctuated from an 8.6 all the way up to a 10.8, and your calcium is supposed to stay in a very narrow range. So see if it pops back out. I don't know. It's normal for the moment, so we'll worry about that later on. And then the last part is my Crohn's, which I'm happy to report there's absolutely no active Crohn's disease right now. So I had the colonoscopy a few weeks ago. There was no active disease there. And then we did an MRI, and no active disease anywhere else in the whole gastrointestinal tract. So the only kind of frustration, the only current problem that the MRI showed, which I really didn't need an MRI to tell me this, but here we go. We're talking about Crohn's, so we got to talk about bowel movements and poop. So that's great, but it's a great disease. So what the MRI did show is that I have some significant constipation, which I know that because I've been fighting that for about a year now, and that's actually why I brought the avocados back into my diet about a year ago. But it's just nothing's really been helping, and so my GI doctor she said, having a disease like Crohn's, and you can have the inflammation for so long, and then you're battling constant chronic diarrhea for so many years, basically my intestines have forgotten how to work. And I've already, I'm no stranger to the Fleet's enema. I've used those for many years, and laxatives, so who knows, I think my system just doesn't know how to work. So that's actually one of the reasons why I've been trying to do all these experiments of bringing different foods back in, is to just see if I can help that issue. Plus, with the kidney issue going on, I know that if you if you don't have problems with your kidney, it really doesn't matter how much protein you eat, you're fine. But if you do have problems with your kidney, then eating a lot of protein is going to put extra stress on the kidneys. And so I kind of wanted to be cognizant of that, knowing that, all right, I'm already at stage 3. I should maybe try to bring in other foods other than just meat, just because I don't want to put such a stressful load on my kidneys when they're only working at 50%. So kind of twofold reason of why I've been playing with my diet a little more. Like I said, just when you think you've got things figured out, these autoimmune diseases like to switch things up on you. So yes, I love my carnivore. I've been eating meat. It does always make me feel good, but I am concerned about my kidneys for the long term. I want to make sure I'm not stressing them too much. So I want to be prepared with other foods that I know are safe to eat. And then the chronic constipation, I do want to kind of see if I can figure that out without having to use, Miralax and other laxatives every other day. That's I don't want to do that either. So I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to buy some kiwis. I've been doing some research. Vegetables are hard for me to digest, so I'm going to go down the fruit aisle for a little bit. But kiwis, prunes, everybody knows prunes are good for you. So I'm going to try some of those fruits and see if I can't combat this current problem of constipation. That seems to be my worst Crohn's symptom right now, which you would think that, someone who's battled chronic diarrhea for most of their, adult life, that you would think constipation sounds great, but neither one is good. So you can't talk about Crohn's and inflammatory bowel disease without talking about the bowels. So Crohn's is good. I'm going to buy some fruit. Don't know about the calcium. We're going to wait and see on my blood calcium levels, see where those end up. And then my kidneys, we're at stage 3, so they're at 50%. So just going to see if I can't hopefully keep those guys healthy and see what I can do. So for those of you who are wondering, that's where I'm at. I go see my primary care doctor next week. I do have high cholesterol, so they're probably going to yell at me for that. But I refuse to take statins. There's a lot of different, many of you may have already read some of the books that I have. There's a lot of podcasts out there that talk about the cholesterol myth. It's the cholesterol hypothesis. But everything I've been reading talks about the only people who probably should be on a statin are middle-aged white men who have already had a heart attack. And so a lot of the research does not show any benefit, especially for women, and that a lot of what I've been reading is that high cholesterol is actually protective for women as we get older. So if you have not read, I would recommend The Great Cholesterol Con and Cholesterol Clarity. I forget who The Great Cholesterol Con is by. Cholesterol Clarity is by Jimmy Moore. He's Living La Vida Low Carb Man. So a couple of awesome books. There's also a bunch of podcasts out there that I've listened to that have kind of led me down this path of why I'm not worried about the cholesterol, but it is interesting that it is going up. Also, as a side note to that, one of the complications, I guess if you call it, of IgA nephropathy is cholesterol, high cholesterol. So all the little puzzle pieces are possibly coming together, who knows, but that's where I'm at. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. That's where my health is, and I'll talk with y'all next time. Bye.